What if events went differently in Home Alone? What if Kevin McCallister bonded with the Venom symbiote? What would have happened? What would have changed? Welcome back, my fellow watchers of the multiverse, to another brand new What If episode. And welcome to Horror Week, where we finally dive into some very dark and unique storylines. And this episode is not going to shy away from that. It's going to be very interesting, very intense. And I do want to give a massive shout out to everybody wanting these random Kevin McCallister what ifs. It's just absolutely crazy. This was a food for thought on the MissedThePart Shorts channel, so do make sure to subscribe to that channel, as these channels are interconnected and you never know when you're going to see a brand new video like this one. So again, Horror Week has been crazy. What do you guys think of the themes that we have been doing? We've been doing some very unique storylines, and that being said, I do want to give a massive shout out to the merch store. So we have a limited quantity, a limited amount of the Call of Duty Toy Story mashup artwork that is available as a t-shirt and also a sweater. The playtime is over. It's a very unique crossover that was in one of the live streams. So if you guys haven't already checked out those live streams, I would highly recommend to do so, as you never know when one of your ideas might be turned into a video. And a lot of these ideas were actually involved with the live streams, and we were able to build Horror Week because of you guys. So big props to the fellow watchers out there watching this video. But that being said, let's dive into the brand new What If episode. It was Christmas in New York. Glimmering streets, overstuffed shops, kids singing on every block. The snowflakes fell like confetti on cab roofs. Carolers were everywhere by the Rockefeller Plaza, but on one hotel balcony, a boy leaned against a railing, utterly alone. Kevin McCallister, age 10, separated from his family for the second time in as many years, stared down at the chaos of the city with a look that wasn't fear anymore. It was exhaustion, bitterness, resentment. "Maybe I like being alone," he muttered. "No rules, no yelling, no forgetting me." The Plaza Hotel had become his fortress, his temporary palace. He bought room service, explored Central Park, and watched black and white gangster movies all night. But even at this, Kevin was growing tired of the joke. The fun was fading. He missed something he wouldn't say out loud. Meanwhile, across town, the world was also falling apart, just in different colors. Spider-Man had been wreaking havoc across Manhattan, now with the Venom symbiote. Like a badge of power, Peter Parker was growing more violent, more cruel, and less himself. MJ was worried. Harry was starting to figure it out. The whole city was buzzing about this dark version of Spider-Man. But Kevin didn't know that yet. He was focused on something else. Later that night, Kevin spotted a familiar face outside Duncan's toy chest. Two, actually. Harry and Marv, out of jail, cold, desperate. He followed them through the snow, ducking under fire escapes and hiding behind street signs, and heard the whole thing. They were planning to rob the toy chest on Christmas Eve, clear it out, and disappear into the tunnels under Central Park. "We blow the safe, take the cash, steal the toys," Marv whispered. "Merry Christmas to us." Kevin's jaw clenched. "Not again. I won't let you ruin Christmas," he growled, pulling out a notepad. But what he didn't know was fate had other plans for him this time. As he ran from the Wet Bandits, Kevin darted through the alleys, eventually taking shelter in a towering Gothic church near Hell's Kitchen. It was quiet, empty, beautiful in its ruin. There were candles still lit, a bell rope that hung ominously. Kevin crept down the aisle, peeking behind pews, when a terrible scream erupted from above. Peter Parker, on the balcony, ripped the black symbiote off of his body, screaming as it withered and resisted. It had bonded with his soul, but he was done. He rang the bell to weaken it, and it fell. Kevin saw a glimmer of something alien, something liquid, slithering past the pews and crawled towards him. He ran, but it was faster. It latched onto his leg. His screams echoed through the cathedral as black tendrils wrapped around his body. Kevin didn't remember how he got back to the hotel. All he remembered was the dream. Falling, voices, laughter, pain, fire, a deep, whispering voice. "You've always been alone. We can fix that." When he awoke, his skin tingled, his vision was sharper, his hearing inhuman. He could feel every movement in the room, every dust particle on his tongue. His fingers pulsed with black, strange veins. He stood in front of the mirror, and something looked back at him. "I'm not scared anymore," he whispered. Kevin returned to the brownstone hideout, his personal booby-trap fortress, but this time it wasn't just filled with paint cans and toy cars. No, now it was filled with weapons of fear. The symbiote made him smarter, faster, meaner. Tripwires became spring-loaded spikes. Paint cans were filled with acid. The tarantula now mutated by the symbiote's touch. Kevin stood on the rooftop in a living black hoodie, tendrils licking his shoulders like a cape. "Come and get me," he whispered, and smiled. Harry and Marv didn't know what hit them. Marv was slammed through a brick wall by a black tendril from the shadows. Harry was webbed to a furnace pipe, screaming as Kevin stalked him slowly, dragging a jagged candy cane in one hand. "Remember me?" Kevin snarled. "I was just a dumb little kid. Kevin, we were just playing." "I'm not playing anymore." He let them go, for now, broken, humiliated, but alive. Kevin was still in control, or so he thought. The days passed. Kevin got worse. He spoke in a rasp. He threatened bellhops. He stopped smiling. His traps became more like executions. His mind fractured under the symbiote's influence. And worse, he liked it. He watched the city from rooftops, hearing every cry, every lie, every adult ignoring pain. "They never protected us. We'll protect ourselves." He called himself Shadow Santa, and the streets began whispering about a vengeful little monster who wore a black hoodie, left claw marks on rooftops, and whispered things like, "You've been naughty." It was now Christmas Eve. The city was peaceful, snow falling, caroler, people singing in the streets. Inside Duncan's toy chest, Kevin waited. He knew they'd come back, but this time, there were no traps, just judgment. Harry and Marv entered quietly, flashlights, gloves, desperation. But Kevin stood in the center of the store, wrapped in shadow, holding a snow globe. "You had a choice," he said, without turning around. "But you came anyway." They panicked, begged, pleaded. He didn't care. Kevin snapped Marv's leg with a web tendril, dragged him into the toy aisle, and suffocated him under a pile of plush animals. Harry ran into the street, screaming for help, but Kevin leaped from the rooftop and tackled him into a snowbank. "Please," Harry begged. You're just a kid." "I was," Kevin said. "Not anymore." One punch. 2, 3. Kevin's hands were claws. Harry didn't move. Central Park. Kevin stood by the tree, watching the city lights, dressed in a black coat made from the symbiote, eyes glowing faintly red. Footsteps behind him. A voice. Peter Parker. "You found it," Peter said. "No, it found me. You can't control it forever." Kevin didn't answer, just walked away. His silhouette merged with the darkness of the trees. A secret monitor flicks. Someone replays the footage of Kevin's attacks. Laughs. Cletus Cassidy, watching from a ceiling. "He's just a boy," he says. "But we've all grown up. Well, eventually." A silver of red symbiote slithers across the floor. And maybe it would be the birth of something much more. And that is going to be it for What If Kevin McCallister Bonded with the Venom Symbiote. What do you think would have happened to the Wet Bandits? Do you think that the Wet Bandits maybe should have also gotten the Venom symbiote? Now do let me know in the comments down below. I want to give a massive shout out to Zachary Stonebreaker for requesting more Home Alone what ifs. And also I want to give a shout out to the Chicken. He's been a community member for some time now, and he's also been requesting a lot of Home Alone fan fictions on this channel. It's something that I never thought I would be doing, especially for Horror Week. Something like this is just very, very interesting to me. But that being said, I do want to give a massive shout out to the brand new Playtime is Over collection. It's less than 1 week, so once it's gone, it is gone. I would highly recommend grabbing one of these, as it's just a very unique merch design, and also it goes a long way with the channel. So let's say if we even get 10 people getting this design, like a sweater or a t-shirt, we're putting that funds back right into the channel. So again, it really goes a long way, and we really appreciate the support here. And again, massive shout out to our Patreon and YouTube supporters. Without you guys, I really don't know what we would be doing right now, because your support also helps me continue doing this full time. So thank you guys so very much for watching, and if you guys are new around here, do make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn those notifications on, so you and your friends are all up to date when we post and when we do a live stream. With that being said, as always, I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a wonderful day. Peace out.
Oh God, Andy's dead. Andy's dead. Andy's dead. Oh, Andy, I think because tonight might remember it, kid, whoever believed.
To infinity and Jackson, I believe the regular market, or at least a miracle in a mystery box. Oh God, Andy is dead.